Dragon fruit looks healthy, but no fruit? Mistakes to fix now. Regis mistake 1. Your soil is suffocating your plant from below. Stop. Look at your plant right now. Green, growing, alive. Looks fine, right? Now look below the surface, because that is where the real story is. Your dragon fruit roots need 2 things: oxygen and drainage. Pack them into heavy, dense, waterlogged soil, and you cut off their oxygen supply completely. The roots suffocate, fungi move in, root rot begins, and your plant keeps looking healthy on top while it dies below. Perfect green stems, actively pushing new growth, while underground every major root is brown, mushy, and rotting. That is not a rare case. That is what poorly drained soil does to every dragon fruit it touches. Your target pH is 6 to 7. Outside that, nutrients cannot be absorbed. You can fertilize perfectly and still starve your plant, because the wrong pH is blocking absorption entirely. The fix is simple: cactus soil plus perlite plus finished compost, fast drainage. If you ignore this, everything else you fix above ground will not matter. The foundation is broken. Your fix: pH 6.0 to 7.0. Cactus soil plus perlite plus compost. Clear drainage holes today. Elevate containers on feet. Fix this first, before anything else. Mistake 2. Your container is a prison. Does your dragon fruit dry out unusually fast after watering? That is not a watering problem. That is a root problem. Your roots hit the container walls months ago. Now they are circling, compressing each other, competing for the same exhausted soil, so tightly packed that when you pull the plant out, the roots hold the exact shape of the container. That plant is using every resource just to stay alive, with nothing left for flowering. Water absorption breaks down. Nutrients run out. Your plant quietly stops producing while looking completely normal from the outside. If you keep your plant in a container that is too small, it may never enter fruiting mode. Not because of anything wrong with the plant, because the infrastructure underneath cannot support production. Minimum 15 gallons. 20 gallons is better. Repot every 2 to 3 years. Fresh cactus mix every single time. Trim those circling roots before replanting. Your fix: 15-20 gallon minimum. Repot every 2 to 3 years. Fresh cactus mix. Trim circling roots at every repot. Fast drying plus roots through drainage holes. Repot this week. Not next month. This week. Mistake 3. Our dragon fruit is a tropical cactus. One night below 40 degrees Fahrenheit and cellular damage begins inside the stems. The water inside your plant's cells freezes, expands, ruptures the cell walls from the inside, and you will not see it. Not immediately. Plant looking completely normal. The morning after a cold night. Green, upright, seemingly fine. Then 3 months later, your entire flowering season arrives and produces nothing. No buds, no flowers, no fruit. That one cold night consumed every resource your plant had. One cold night, one full season lost. This is where most gardeners get it wrong. They protect their plant from obvious frost but ignore those borderline cold nights. Those borderline nights are the ones that quietly steal your harvest. Container growers, you already have the solution. Pick up your plant and move it indoors when temperatures drop below 45 degrees Fahrenheit. That mobility is your most powerful cold protection tool. One rule when you bring it inside: no dark garages. Cold plus dark equals dead plant by spring. Your fix: move containers indoors below 45 solve. Frost blankets for in-ground plants. Indoor storage must have light, south window or grow light. Never cold plus dark. Mistake 4. Your plant is too young. How long ago did you plant your dragon fruit? If the answer is less than 1 year, stop troubleshooting. Your plant has not failed. It has not even started yet. Dragon fruit from cuttings takes 1 to 2 years to first flowers. That is not a problem. That is biology. No fertilizer compresses that timeline. And this is the part nobody sees. Many gardeners remove their dragon fruit right before it is about to fruit, convinced it is broken, convinced it will never produce. One grower pulled out a healthy 2-year plant in frustration. His neighbor kept an identical plant from the same batch. 3 weeks later, that neighbor had 12 flowers opening in one night. Do not be that grower. Your flowers form on mature branches that have crested the trellis top and cascaded downward. A plant still climbing upward is not ready yet. It is building the infrastructure it needs first. Give it the time it is asking for. Your fix: less than 1-2 years from planting. Wait. Always cuttings, never seeds. Wait for your plant to crest your trellis top and cascade before expecting any blooms. Pattern interrupt. This is the stage where most gardeners give up. They think, these mistakes seem simple. Why has nothing worked yet? And they go back to changing random things, without addressing the real issues still coming. Do not be that gardener. The next mistakes are where the real answers live. And mistake 10, The final one is the single most important thing in this entire video. Stay with this. Mistake number 5. Your canopy is blocking its own flower zones, and you cannot see it from outside. Right now inside your dragon fruit canopy, there are nodes supposed to be producing flower buds. Those nodes have not seen direct sunlight in months, because your own plant's growth buried them. Picture pushing both hands into your canopy and parting the branches. Inside, complete darkness, dead stems, overlapping branches pressing against each other. No air moving. Those buried nodes in the dark, those are your missing flowers. No light to your nodes. No flowers from your nodes. This is where it flips. Pruning does not just clean up your plant. Pruning triggers flowering. Remove overcrowded growth, and your plant concentrates resources into fewer, better positioned branches. It receives the hormonal signal that its building phase is complete. You are programming your plant's next flowering cycle. If you keep skipping pruning, those flower zones stay buried in darkness, and you keep harvesting nothing while your plant keeps looking spectacular. Your fix. After flowering season, open canopy for light and airflow. Dead growth. Remove immediately, year-round. Side shoots reduce to 1 to 2 per main arm. Sterilize blades with rubbing alcohol every single cut.
Mistake 6.
Your fertilizer is keeping your plant locked in the wrong mode. Go look at your fertilizer right now. Find the 3 numbers on the label. That is your NPK ratio. If the first number, nitrogen, is significantly larger than the other 2, you just found a hidden reason your plant refuses to flower. High nitrogen fertilizers have one job: push vegetative growth, stems, branches, green mass. That is exactly what you want for a lawn. For a dragon fruit trying to fruit, it is a trap. Your plant obeys the nitrogen signal perfectly. The canopy gets lush, the stems get thick, everything looks impressive, and not a single flower bud forms. Grower proudly feeding their dragon fruit. Premium growth fertilizer every 2 weeks. The plant doubles in size in 1 season. 0 flowers, 0 fruit. They switch to bloom booster. 8 weeks later, 14 flower buds on 1 branch alone. Same plant, different signal. Completely different result. When your plant is young, balance 16-16-16 or 20-20-20 is appropriate. The moment your plant matures and branches reach your trellis top, switch immediately. Low nitrogen, high phosphorus, 2-10-10 or 0-10-10. That formula tells your plant one thing: vegetative phase is over. Initiate flowers now. Your fix: check NPK label today. Mature plant at trellis top, switch to 2-10-10 or 0-10-10 immediately. Stop all fertilizing during winter dormancy. Nitrogen feeds stems, phosphorus feeds flowers. You decide which one wins. Mistake 7. The more carefully you water, the worse this gets. There is one watering mistake that gets worse the more attention you give it. When your plant is not producing, your instinct is more care, more consistent watering, more attention, and if overwatering is your problem, every extra session makes the damage worse, while your plant looks completely fine on the surface. Too much water equals growth, not fruit. Watering your dragon fruit on a perfect schedule, every 3 days, religiously, your plant looks green and healthy. Underground, the roots are slowly rotting in waterlogged soil. You look at the healthy plant, you water again, you make it worse, until one morning, every flower bud drops overnight and you still cannot figure out why. One habit fixes this completely. Before every watering, push 2 fingers 2 inches into your soil. Moist, close the can. Walk away. Dry, water thoroughly. That one check eliminates overwatering almost entirely. And one more thing. In the 1 to 2 weeks before harvest, reduce watering deliberately. That stress concentrates sugars into your fruit. Denser, sweeter, far less cracking before you pick it. Your fix: 2-finger test before every watering. Moist, wait. Dry, water. 1 inch per week growing season. Reduce 1 to 2 weeks before harvest. Control your water. Control your fruit quality. Mistake N8. Your plant is growing perfectly. That is the sign something is wrong. Look at your dragon fruit stems right now. Thick, compact, deeply green, or thin, pale, stretched, leaning hard toward any available light, thin, stretched, pale, reaching. That is not healthy growth. That is a light-starved plant screaming for help in the only language it has. Picture a dragon fruit stem so stretched and pale it looks almost yellow, growing 2 feet in one direction toward the only window in the room. That plant is not thriving. That plant is surviving. And a plant in survival mode will never enter fruiting mode. Dragon fruit needs 6 to 8 hours of genuine direct daily sunlight to flower. Not filtered, not reflected, Direct sun on your stems for at least 6 hours every day. Below that, vegetative mode forever. Growing, never flowering, never fruiting. And that is exactly why your harvest stays empty while your plant keeps getting bigger and bigger. Your fix: 6-8 genuine hours of direct daily sun, non-negotiable. Move containers to south or west facing positions. Prune surrounding vegetation, casting shade on your canopy. Full spectrum LED grow light on 14-hour timer for low light situations. Mistake 9. There is a technique that triggers flowering in 4 to 6 weeks. Almost no hobby grower has heard of it. Professional dragon fruit farmers use a specific technique every single season. Scheduled, standard practice, reliably triggers flowering within 4 to 6 weeks of application. Most hobby growers have never heard of it. It is called tipping. And this changes everything. Your dragon fruit produces flowers at the nodes along mature hanging branches. But at the very end of each branch, there is an active growing tip, perpetually in vegetative mode. As long as that tip is active, your plant keeps prioritizing extension over reproduction. Your nodes stay silent. Your harvest stays empty. Tipping removes that growing point. Cut the last 2 to 4 inches from the end of a mature cascading branch with sterilized shears. The vegetative signal disappears. Energy redirects inward toward the nodes. The nodes respond with flower buds. One grower waited 2 full years. Healthy plant, 0 fruit. Discovered tipping, applied it to every mature branch, switched to bloom booster fertilizer at the same time. Next season, 27 fruits. Same plant, same location. One technique they had never known existed. Combine tipping with switching to bloom booster fertilizer simultaneously. 2 signals at once. Stop extending. Begin flowering. The combined effect is stronger than either alone. Your fix: mature cascading branch. Cut last 2 to 4 inches from tip with sterilized shears. Late spring or early summer. Switch to bloom booster fertilizer at the same time. Flower buds within 4 to 6 weeks. Every time. Mistake 10 to 1. The real reason your plant has never fruited, and it has nothing to do with how you grow it. This is last because it makes all 9 other mistakes irrelevant when it is wrong. Fix everything perfectly. Still get 0 fruit. If this one issue is never addressed. Do you know your exact variety? Do you know whether it is self-fertile or self-sterile? Some dragon fruit varieties cannot produce fruit on their own, no matter what. They need pollen from a completely different compatible variety growing nearby. No compatible variety, no fruit, ever. And your plant does not show you this problem. It grows normally. It flowers right on schedule. Every bloom opens beautifully, and every single morning, those flowers drop without producing anything. Picture this. One grower spent 18 months and over $100 on cuttings. Same variety across every trellis. Spectacular garden. Consistent flowering. Absolute 0 fruit set. The real answer: every single plant was the same self-sterile variety. No pollinator anywhere. 18 months. Gone. You keep adjusting your care, changing things, trying new approaches. None of it works, because the real problem was never your care. It was that your plant never had a partner. If your variety is self-sterile, and you do not add a compatible pollinator this season, you are not just losing this harvest. You are potentially spending another full year watching a perfectly healthy plant flower and produce nothing, while the fix was always one compatible cutting away. One cutting. That is all that stands between you and fruit. For guaranteed automatic fruiting: White Flash, Red Flash, Vietnam White, American Beauty, Sugar Dragon, Soul Kitchen. These set fruit on their own, every single time. Already have self-sterile plants? Add one compatible pollinator variety this season. Your existing plants will start producing the moment that partner arrives. Your fix: identify your exact variety today. Confirm self-fertile or self-sterile. Add compatible pollinator if needed. Always choose self-fertile varieties from this point forward. One cutting changes everything. Closing. Save this video. Rewatch it before your next flowering season. Share it with someone who has been waiting years for fruit. Their answer is somewhere in these 10 mistakes. Soil pH correct and draining. Container 15 gallons minimum. Plant protected from cold. Given enough time from cutting. Canopy pruned for light to reach nodes. Fertilizer switched to bloom booster. Watering checked before every session. Getting genuine 6 to 8 hours direct sun. Tipping technique applied to mature branches. Variety confirmed self-fertile or pollinator added. Find your mistake. Apply your fix. Take control. Because your plant is not random. Your harvest is not luck. Every fruit is a decision you made or missed. Predict your harvest. Control your system. Demand your fruit. Healthy does not mean productive. Fruiting is a strategy, not luck. Don't celebrate growth. Demand fruit.